Good evening. My name is Ken Hughes, and I'm the pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Buffalo, which is serving as the host for the visit to Western New York of the Reverend Thang Van Lian of Myanmar. Now, you may be wondering, how did that come about? Well, each year, our Presbyterian denomination, the PCUSA, sponsors about a dozen what we call international peacemakers that we gather in from across the globe. Many of them are clergy, but not all of them. But all of them are involved in missions and ministries of peace and reconciliation. Hence the title International Peacemaker. And Lian is one of those peacemakers. He has, prior to his visit here tonight, has been in Phoenix, Arizona, where he spent a week doing very much what he's done in the past week here in Western New York, traveling the presbytery, appearing both in churches and in public forums like this one tonight, talking about the situation in his home country, but also connecting it to the refugee and immigrant experience here in the United States. So I really don't have to say much more than that, but that he's come here on a humanitarian mission, and I think he's done a marvelous job of accomplishing that. So I turn it over to Lian.
Thank you, Pastor Ken, and thank you to the center for having me, and thank you for this opportunity to talk about my country, about the humanitarian crisis. And my talk will be mostly based on my experience, what life looks like, and what kind of challenges and struggles we have in the country, and also talking about the current Rohingya Muslims fleeing the country and the conflicts we have in ethnic areas. So, this is my family. I've been in Atlanta for 2 years and 2.5 years now as a student at Columbia Theological Seminary with my family. I have 3 kids, my wife, and this is my family picture. And your right side is the church in Atlanta. It is a refugee community church. They are from Myanmar, and especially from my ethnic groups, the northwest part of the country. So we speak the same ethnic language. We're the same ethnic people. We have 230 church members there, so that is our church, inside our church. This is my village. On your left side, you see the village where I was born and grew up, and I spent my childhood there and until I grew up, until I finished my high school education. And on your right side, you see the beautiful Jamestown is up on the hill, and that is where I went my middle school and high school. So every day from my village to this town, I need to go on foot every early morning and come back after school. This is what me and my friends and other people usually do for their middle education and high school education. And we still have other villages who come for their middle school and high school, like my village. Near the village, we have some villages 3 miles away, 4 miles away, even some 5 miles away. So people are coming for their middle and high school education. Oh, then maybe some of you don't know where Myanmar is. We call Burma, and Burma is okay, but they changed the name 20 years ago, and the government think that this is more inclusive, so they call Myanmar. But Burma is well known to the West, especially to the Europe and to America. So You can call us Burma or Myanmar. It's okay. It's the same. So in the northeast we have China, and in the west we have India, and you see the also Bangladesh, southwest, and in the southeast we have Thailand and Laos. So these are China, India, Bangladesh, Thailand, and Laos. These are our neighboring countries. So you see this map, and this map shows, you see this yellow color, these are the area where we have ethnic minorities. And mostly they are Christians. But we have Buddhist majority here, we call Rakhine. And in this Shan state, we have other Buddhist group, big Buddhist group, and other, they are not Christian, they are not Buddhist, they are like, they just believe in their, folk religions, let's say. And in the middle, you see, in the middle south, this is where we have majority Burmese-speaking group, and they are mostly Buddhist. Okay. And the government say we have 8 major ethnic groups. So they are this Kachin in the north, Kaya in the middle east, and Karen in the middle east, and Chin or Zomidis is where I come from, the northwest part, and Mon in the middle, and Bama in the middle south, and Rakhine in the southwest, and Shan in the east. So these are the government recognized indigenous people. And under it, we have other different languages and ethnic groups yet. The government say we have 135 different ethnic groups, but it's not a scholarly research. So now we really want that we can research on it and make it sure that this is really different. How do we say this is an ethnic group? How do you measure? What kind of criteria we use for saying this is different? So that's the question. But yeah, now, so far as we know, we have 135 different ethnic groups. So yeah, I usually talk about the Buddhists, Christians, and Muslims, what time they have. Oh, let me talk. We have Buddhism, 87.9 Buddhism in the whole country, and 4.3 Muslims, and 6.2 Christians, and 0.5 Hindu, and some other folk religions. This is the religious situation we have in the country. This make also, a very big impact on the life of the country, even in the government. So, again, let's talk about the main source of energy for cooking. You see, electricity in the whole country, 16.4 can use electricity for cooking. And in my area, the northwest part, and mostly in most ethnic area, but this is from my Chin state, 0.8% use electricity for cooking. And firewood in the whole country, 69.2 use firewood for cooking. And in my area, 93.7% use firewood for cooking. So that's where I grew up, and that's what I usually do every day since my childhood, and until today we still use fire cook. So you will see smoke over the village, every home. In early morning you will see the smoke coming up, and it means that we have some food and mothers are cooking. And yeah, this is how we cook. And again, the main source of energy for lighting. So in the whole country, we have 32.4% have electricity for lightning, and in my state, 15.4% have electricity for lightning. And yeah, let me skip to the availability of communication amenity in the country. Radio, 35.5 can use the radio in the whole country, and in my area, in my state, 20.3 use radio. I used to talk about the whole country and my country because we are different. We don't speak Burmese. Most of our people don't understand Burmese. So that's why I took the two difference. And television, 49.5% can use, and in my area, 27.3% use TV. And let me talk about mobile phone or cell phone. In the whole country, 32.9 can use mobile phone, and in my area, 17.1% can use cell phones, mobile phones. And this is only after we have a semi-civilian government about 2011 or 12. I began using my cell phone since 2013. The first time we cannot afford to buy, and later when the price get down, and only the time people can use. This is based on 2014 census. After this, I think many more people have more phones, maybe about 20, let's guess. And let's talk about computer. In the whole country, 3.5 can use computer, and in our state, 2.2% of the whole people can use computer. And internet at home, in the whole country, 6.2 use internet, and in my area, only 1.3 can use internet at home. This is the communication. Let's talk about the transportation. Car or truck or van, in the whole country, 3.1% can use car or van or truck. And in my state, only 0.8 have car or truck or van for transportation. So I used to carry many things on my back or the shoulder. Yeah, I'm used to. So this is the basic needs we have in the whole country. And let me talk about the people with disabilities. In the whole country, we have 4.6 disabled persons. And in my state, we have 7.4 percentage who are somehow with disabilities. So I think because the country is very poor, so the buildings, you never see where people can go with their wheelchair. We don't have roads or ways for them. I think it's not good for them. I feel that how this country, including my church, the Christian churches, we've been very exclusive to people with disabilities. Talking about the Rohingya Muslims, and you will see on internet or some YouTubes, you can find them. This is how they cross the rivers and the sea to flee the country and flee to Bangladesh. And this is the way they carry the things they need and cross some rivers. And yeah, this is how they carry and flee the country with their children and with babies. And this is some information. I think this was published in 2018. So this is not the latest update, but I have this information from the internet. So in 2018, we have more than 800,000 people fleeing the country, and gunshot wounded 43,000, and because as a result, we have more than 34,000 orphans, and 24 people massacred, and 18,000 women or girls raped, and more than 300. But now we know that it's more than 400 villages burnt. That's why they need to flee the country for their survival. And this is how they spend their daily life in refugee camp in Bangladesh. They say we have more than 900,000 refugees in Bangladesh right now, and the United Nations is supporting these refugees, and their future is not sure yet. So far as I know, the government of Myanmar attended the United Nations meeting this month, the end of last month, September. Yeah, we have a meeting, United Nations meeting in New York, and they say if they are legally a Burmese, they can come back and we can welcome them. That's what they say. And in my mind, the question I have is how can they show that they are Burmese because they don't have citizenship? The government never issue identity card for them. So their future is not sure. And they don't want to come back yet because they cannot go to their old village. The government is preparing some big buildings where they can come together and stay together. I think they are afraid of it, so they are not coming yet. And again, we talk, and the international media is covering very much about Rohingya Muslim people, and that's very good one because it's what happens, that's really happened. And again, we need to also to talk about the Christian minorities in the north, where we have more than 90% Christians. So these are the Kachin Christian minorities leaving their village and fleeing their village, and how they spend their daily life in the refugee camp. We have China in the northeast border with China. They are closed, maybe they are closed, and some of them may be far. But anyway, since China is not welcoming such people, they cannot flee to China. So the people, the Kachin refugee Christians, they just flee from this village to another village, and from another village to, again, another town or a little bit bigger cities where they feel safe. And yeah, this is how they flee and spend their daily life. This is some of the pictures we have. This is how they flee, and this is how they spend their daily life in the refugee camp together. Even during the night, they are like this in this big, let's say, hall or the camp. In the camp, they sleep like this. So, yeah, these are the challenges and the struggles we have in the whole country. And I have video clip, but it will take time, so I'm not showing it. But I would like to point out today that in 1988, we have a general strike in the whole country led by university students. And many were killed, and many flee the country because the military killed many people, arrest many people. But this is, the uprising, the whole country uprising in 1988. This year, I was grateful. And they say that at least one person need to come out from every family to the town and, have demonstration. So I went there because I'm the eldest in our family. So after we finished the demonstration, they have a big screen like this and showing what happened in Rangoon City, how the student led and how the military killed the student leaders and those who participate there. And we never see screen, we never see movies, we never see TV. So as I was only grade 4, I love watching it. And I didn't even recognize that the older ones who are going with me to the town from our village, they all left for our country because it's getting dark. I didn't recognize that it's already dark. So when the screen show is finished, I look for them and I don't see anybody. So it's already dark, and that was the first experience. I go home during the night time alone as a child, as a fourth grader. That's my first experience regarding with this kind of political people movement, let's say. And again, the military is still in control of the whole country and still in power. And in 27, we call Saffron Revolution. This is led by the Buddhist monks, and many were killed again. But in 2008, we called the 2008 Constitution, draft and written by the military, and they forced the people that this Constitution is good, and we accept it, and we confirm it. And so that's under that Constitution, the civilian government is, that is under that Constitution we have new government. Like from 2010 to 2015 we have civilian government, and from 2015 to 2020 we have a new civilian government led by Aung San Suu Kyi. We call the lady. And this YouTube shows that within 2 years, from 2017 to 2018, more than 60 churches bombed or burned in the north part of the country where we have Kachin Christians. So the United Nations and many media says this is ethnic cleansing and this is genocide. And the people in Myanmar just don't know what is ethnic cleansing, what is genocide. But the good thing is that anyway, the international community is more and more involving and taking steps and actions in the country. That's what we are very grateful. So, this is my presentation, and many people are asking that what is the root cause of this kind of conflicts and problems? Myanmar, we have our independence in 1948 from the British government, and just after we have independence, we have civil war because we don't trust each other. The other ethnic groups do not trust this leading, let's say, Burmese dominant group. So we have civil war since just after we have independence. Until today, we have more and more, civil war is, more conflicts and more civil wars. So I think that is because of the dictatorship, the military. And again, we have different diverse ethnic groups, and we do not know each other. And we are not, in my mind and in my personal view, we are not embracing each other because we have no contact each other. As I said, we have no car, we have no good transportation, we have no good communication, and we have no interstate hide away. So that kind of things make us very isolated, and I only think about my community and very isolated and very self-centered, and sometimes even very extreme conservative to other communities and religions, and that makes conflicts between ethnic groups, these big group and these small groups, this religious and this religious. That's the problem we are struggling with. And as a result, hate speech is also a problem, the problem I see. We begin to use our cell phones and mobile phones about 2011, 2012, and the time we can use internet, 2G, on our mobile phones. And that's where we begin using Facebook and some other social media. And you can see if a news from VOA or Radio Free Asia or the BBC is coming up, and under it, the comments, they are very, very aggressive, and we have some very negative comments, condemning this group and another group, and again, another group is coming up, and things like that. So we have hate speech and even very conservative, very extreme, let's say, racism. I am Burmese. We are Burmese. We are dominant in the country. We have gun. We have the power. And the other ethnic groups at the same time, oh, you're oppressing, and we don't like it. And that's where the conflict is rooted. So as a Christians, and among the Christians, we used to encourage each other that anyway, we can pray. Prayer can change. But it's already more than half a century. Anyway, we can be peacemakers. And we can be a voice for the voiceless, and we can advocate for those who are helpless, and we can be, although we are weak, although the things we can do is very limited, we can be agents of change in the society and in the church and in the country. That's how we encourage each other. Yeah, this is what I want to point out from my presentation. Thank you very much. Yeah, if we have time, I think it's a good idea for us to have questions and answers.
So, the lady, the
Aung San Suu Kyi, yes.
How long was she under house arrest? Do you know?
How long? I don't know the exact year, but very long time. Since we have a general election in the whole country in 1990, she and her party won the whole landslide in the whole country, but the government do not give anything, but begins us arresting him, arrest her, and keep her house arrest. So she began again in 2013. So many times, many long years.
Now, was she popular throughout the country, or just in like the majority area of? You know what I'm asking?
Yes.
Okay.
I understand the question. And she is the hope of the country, let's say, the hope of the people, all the people, all ethnic groups. But, she has allied parties and communities from ethnic groups. Not many ethnic groups do not join her party, but they become allied. Allied, they say, allied party. So they become alliance. We have alliance with her, and my own ethnic groups we call Zomi, national party. But when she won the whole country in 2015, many ethnic groups feel and understand that she forgets her allied groups. You know, for example, in the Rakhine State, majority, the Rakhine party won the election. But from the center, they do not allow, you know, the indigenous people to be the head of the state. From the center, let's say National League for Democracy, Aung San Suu Kyi, the Ladies' Party, they appoint the Burmese speaking person to be the head of this state, that against the will of these people. So they feel, and we feel, that she herself is against the will of the people, and she forget about her old friends, her old good friends. And as you can see, the mass exodus of the Rohingya Muslims and the bombing and the selling of the ethnic groups, the churches, the bombing of the churches, we can see within these 2 years after she became the state councillor, we can see that she is betraying the ethnic groups and her own people. That's how many people feel. But we have no other good people beyond her. We have no expectation. She is the only hope for all of us. That's the situation right now.
Is your country a monarchy? Do you have a king or a prime minister, or what is the form of government?
That's also a good question, and many people, we don't understand what is government is. What is the way we have government? You know, we are rich in natural resources. You see how much electricity we have, how is our communication, the transportation below 0 point something. That's how we have, that's our situation. So,
Was each one of the minorities a freestanding state, or is there a unity in, is Rangoon the capital?
yes. Let's say it's like, you know, it's a union country, actually, it's a union country, because here we have, in the Middle South, we have the Burmese dominant group. They have big population, more than 80%. And we have other ethnic groups, they are not Burmese, we are not Burmese. And we never identify ourselves as Burmese in the country. But in international understanding, we are all Burmese, let's say. So for the independence, our forefathers signed agreement that we have independence together. And we have agreement, some information, some facts on it. And this Burmese dominant group are betraying, and they don't respect, and they are not following this agreement. That's the first problem also. So other ethnic groups do not trust and fight against these dominant or these dictators.
Do you have a king the way Thailand does?
What's that?
Do you have a king?
Oh,
Who is the leader?
oh, king.
K-I-N-G.
Right, king. We have, the Burmese have their king, but not our king. They just have Burmese kingdom in certain land, not including the west, the present west, the present north, the present east. We have each of our own king. But I would say we don't have king. We have our own, I would say, we call chief of the tribe.
So you have a bunch of tribes that
Right.
rule the country?
No, before the independence we don't have country. We are just there. So that's why some historians and scholars are saying that unadministered area or the forgotten area. That's how I can say.
The Rohingya
Yes.
are Muslims,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
and they are being killed by the Buddhists, or who?
Let's say the military, Myanmar military.
Okay. Who governs the military? Is there a leader?
That's the question. Very good question. The civilian government have no power on military. According to the 2008 Constitution. Yeah, sometimes they say the president of the country can order, okay, stop killing these people. But the president never order, and we know that the president cannot control the military. That's the problem, according to the 2008 Constitution. So the military will just do whatever they want to do. That's why they keep killing and burning the village and bombing airstrike among the ethnic areas. They just do. But the question is, why the lady even talk at least one word about this? Why she is staying quiet for this long time, even after she became the head of the country? Let's say, even though she has no power, she is the head of the country anyway. But she is not attending the United Nations. She is not talking about the Muslims. She is not talking about, the bombing of the ethnic groups. In the country, we have more than 500,000 internally displaced persons who cannot flee to other countries, and that's where we begin. We have more and more refugees to India, Thailand, and Malaysia. Right now, only from my ethnic group, we have more than 15,000 refugees in Malaysia, only from my tribal group.
Are there other grassroots organizations trying to help?
Oh, yeah, that's the question. And, we are very weak. You can imagine, since just after we have independence, education system is very, very, very bad, let's say. The ethnic groups have no rights to learn and study their language. We do not study our own history. We do not study our culture. We are not allowed. And almost, let's say, until today. But some people will say, you are free to learn, they may say, but in public schools and in the school system, we just learn about only the Burmese arts, the Burmese history, and so. And yeah, and we cannot have good communities that can be helpful for building a good country. That's also one of our weakness. I usually hear some of our scholars, our educated persons saying we don't have enough institution that can help this civilian government grow and prosper and do what they ought to do. All just think we have been all influenced by the dictators more than half a century. Even myself, sometimes I think my leadership style in the church like a dictator. Yeah, it's not polite to ask a question in the school. You never ask any question to your teacher. That's how we grow up. So when we come to America, it's very hard for me to survive. Other friends will just ask and keep talking and speak, but I just think whether I should ask this. And after I decided, I should ask this, and I should say, may I ask a question? And then that time, other people, other friends will talk, and no more time for us. That's how our education, our learning and teaching system is. Very hard, very hard. So the Buddhist teaching, religious teaching itself is sit, be quiet, and be faithful. And the teacher will talk everything he wants to talk. And as a student, all we need to do is just listen and say yes. So that's how we grow up. So we don't have we cannot build good communities. We cannot have some civil societies, and we cannot have good institution. We never see like this center in the whole country. So far as I know, I never see this kind of centers in the whole country. You know, after 1988, we have no college opened, no universities opened for many years. I don't know the exact number of years, but I'm sure we have no college, no universities at all after 1988. And that was that year was I was grade 4, and I know we have no school 2 years. So I need to wait 3 years to finish my grade 4. Yeah, things like that.
So where do you see the church in your church working for change in the, I guess more maybe just in your community?
Right.
Because maybe because for me, like I look at a nation and I can't imagine like what I can do to change a nation,
Yes.
but I can imagine what can I do to change my little community. So what are the things that the church is doing to kind of support your community, if that makes sense?
Yes.
I wonder if my questions make sense. So, but
Yes.
you know, I that's like, where are you seeing, or what changes are you seeing, or what's the church doing?
You know, as I said, the education system itself is like that. What the church can do is very, very little. And even, you know, even talking about politics is thought as sin. So, Christianity itself is very, you know, very sad, let's say. So, outside of worship service, the praying or the reading the Bible or the sermon, if you talk about some other community things, it's not something that the church should do. Yeah, that's the worldview of many Christians. So, yeah, but anyway, as I said in the presentation, we encourage the people to pray that we have a good country where we have peace, where we have our leaders do justice, and where we reconcile each other, this group and this group, this big group and small group, the military stop killing and, you know, killing their peoples. So that's what we can do. Prayer is one of the best thing we can do, and other than prayer, there's very little thing we can do. We just encourage. Let's pray. Let's hope the best. Let's hope for the best. And we dare not organize any talks, any seminar about, you know, human rights or about human development, things like that. So that is our situation. Thank you. Thank you very much.